Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be taking a look at a custom hit sculpt for the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Abomination. This custom hit sculpt is made by Destro's lab. You can find him on Instagram at the link in the description below. This review isn't sponsored. I actually purchased this hit sculpt from him and we're going to take a closer look at it today because I'm really pleased with the quality of his work. So I picked up this Build-A-Figure wave a couple of months ago because it was on clearance, and I was really pleased with how the Build-A-Figure looks. The sculpting on the body is great, the paint is okay, but the articulation is also really cool, and I also like the imposing size of the action figure. However, the head sculpt on this Build-A-Figure is awful. It's based on the game design from the Avengers game, and while it's also faithful to that really ugly game design, it really looks nothing like a comic Abomination. The expression on his face is also terrible. The intention was probably to get him screaming, but he ends up with a really weird execution. His eyes are painted angled upwards, kind of in a strange sort of daze, and that makes his so-called screaming mouth look more like a bored yawn. So I'm just gonna pop off this really awful hit sculpt and pop on the custom from Destro's lab. The size of the hole on the back of the head is perfect for you to simply pop this on real easy. This head sculpt is a direct copy in terms of sculpting from the previous Marvel Legends Abomination that was from the Build-A-Figure as well as the Raft box set. Despite being a direct copy, Destro's lab has done a little bit of improvements that I think really elevates this head sculpt to the next level. The plastic used is a light shade of green, but is given an overall darker green wash just to bring out all those sculpting details. I really like how those reptilian looking lines still come out really sharp on his eyebrows, down the sides of his cheeks, as well as on the front of his mouth. All those details still come out really sharp, and you can really see that maniacal, screaming expression on his face. There's also sharp paint applications of yellow for the eyes that really stands out against his green skin. I like the red that's also applied on the insides of his mouth, plus a glossy white finish for his teeth, all individually and sharply painted. On the sides of his head, his ears also have a pink paint on the insides. There's a darker shade of pink applied and a lighter shade of pink for that dry brush, once again to also bring out those textures in the ears. To top it off, those ears are also cast in a more flexible, soft plastic. So the pink really adds another shade of color to make the ears pop, and the flexible plastic also makes them feel like ears. At the top of his head, he also has those really sharply casted spines. You can see they're all sharp, and each individual spike still comes through in that casting of the head. The darker green paint also makes all that sculpting really stand out. So overall, I'm really pleased with this Abomination hit sculpt that I got from Destro's lab. And zooming out to have an overall look of the figure with that new head sculpt. The more comic accurate head sculpt definitely elevates the whole figure. I like how the additional colors of pink and yellow also makes this figure much more interesting to look at. And that is definitely 100 times better than the default head that came with the figure. And of course, we will have to look at articulation as well. This head sculpt actually preserves all points of articulation in the neck, so you can still spin his head 360. You can also get some pretty extreme sideways tilt as well. And he can look up, not that much, but that's not such a big deal because he's a big figure and he's probably gonna look down more at his enemies, and the downward range is pretty good. And I didn't mention it just now, but I think Destro's lab has also done a really good job of matching the shade of green on the head to the rest of the body. And of course, here he is together with his main adversary, the Hulk. And while in the comics Abomination is supposed to be shorter than the Hulk, I like my baddies big and mean, and over here I actually like how he's taller than Hulk by just about half a head. So if you'd like to get a new head sculpt for your Abomination Build-A-Figure, you can hit up Destro's lab at the link in the description below. He doesn't actually have a website for you to check out, so you can just place orders by DMing him on Instagram. I think his price is reasonable for the quality of the work that I've got here on this Abomination head sculpt. Please like and share this video, let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel for more toy reviews and some custom work. Thanks for watching, take care and stay safe.